Good morning. Now I've been asked to choose an aspect of European clothing or fashion and talk about its development over time. I decided to focus on rather than small area of clothing, and that's pockets. I chose pockets for two reasons, really. We all have them in jeans, jackets, coats, for example. And even though we often carry bags or briefcases as well, nothing is quite as convenient as being able to pop your phone or credit card into your pocket. Yet, I suspect that other than that, people don't really think about pockets too much, and they rather overlook as an and they are rather look and they rather overlook as a fashion item. It's certainly very interesting to go back in time and see how pockets developed for men and women in the 18th century. Fashions were quite different from the way they are now, and pockets were too. If we think that the male fashion first, I thought that was the time when suits became popular. Trousers were knee-length only and referred to as breeches. The waistcoats were short and the jackets were long, but all three garments were lined with material and pockets were sewn into this clothes by whichever tailor the customer used. The wearer could the wearer could then carry small objects such as pencils or coins on their person and reach them through the gap in the line. Coat pockets became increasingly decorative on outside for men who wanted to look stylish, but they were often larger but blanier if the wearer was someone in the profession who needed to carry medical instruments, a doctor or physician, for example. The development of women's pockets was little different. For one thing, they weren't nearly as visible or as easy to reach as men. In 18th and 19th centuries, women carried numerous possessions on their person, and some of these could be worth a lot of money. Women were more vulnerable to thieves and wealthy women in particular worried constantly about pickpockets. So what they did was to have a pair of pockets made that were tied together with string. The pockets were made of fabric, which might be recycled cloth if the wearer had a little money, or something more expensive, such as lining, sometimes featuring very delicate em- embroidery. Women tied the pocket around their waist so that they hung beneath their clothes. Remember, skirts were long then, and there was plenty of room to hide a whole range of small possessions between the ears and petticoats that were commonly worn. They would have an opening in folds of their skirts were through which they could reach whatever they needed, like their perfume. Working women, of course, all needed to carry around items that might use for whatever job or trade that they were involved in, but their pairs of pockets still remained on the inside of their clothing. They would they just got bigger or bigger, sometimes reaching down to the knees. So the tie-on pockets went went well into 19th century and only changed when fashion altered toward the end or altered toward the end of that period. That's when dresses become tighter and less bulky, and the pairs of pockets became very noticeable. They stood out too much and detracted from the woman image. Women who have been used in carrying around a range of personal possessions and still wanted to needed somewhere to carry these items about their person. That was that was when small bags or pouches, as they were new, become into fashion, and of course they in, inevitably lead to a headband of most modern times, particularly when fashion removes pocket altogether.